Welcome to this episode of The Feast is Life, a podcast for fanables ready for deep dives into unexplored aspects of the show and the extraordinary ingredients that create the delicious recipe of our fandom. On today's episode, Dream and I celebrate our fanable marriage, now sacred in the eyes of God by the power vested in Hugh motherfucking Dancy, by regaling you with all the juicy deets from Red Dragon Con 7, also known as the Fanable Super Bowl, and our wacky adventures, madcap shenanigans, as well as heartfelt shout-outs to the incredible human beings and foxes we encountered along the way. So, stay tuned or you'll have to politely listen while DB details the tragic backstory of her relationship with Franklin Freudevo and their musical mayhem as the Americana duo Cheese Folk. Just ask Lemon. They survived, but barely.
This episode of The Feast is Life is brought to you by Star Furry Conventions. Yeah, no, I was just fucking with you. You think Sean Harry is going to fork out money for advertising or proofreading convention materials or consistent scheduling communication? Did you fall out of the stupid tree and hit every branch on the way down? Come on now. But seriously, if you'd like to buy an ad for our podcast to promote any of your work, from fan fiction to art commissions, we'd love to hear from you. Email the show at thefeastislife@gmail.com. Ads are $5, and we're happy to write and record them for you, or you can submit your own audio. Get your name out there and start making some scratch on the side, baby. It's what Sean would want for you.
And make sure you don't tell the government about it.
Yes. Cash only.
Cash only. Oh my God.
Under the table.
Under the table. Under the table. Yeah. No, we don't want to be declaring none of that. Okay. So, well, folks, we recorded, whilst we were on site, and we have those recordings. We have not listened to them. They may be complete garbage and unusable, but we did not record everything that happened, and we stopped recording around Friday night, I think.
Yeah, Friday night we recorded, and then we were done.
Yeah. So obviously we were a little busy. Mercedes was 100% right in that we barely had time to eat food, much less like sit down and record or record with other people or any of that shit. So we are now, how many days since we got back? Like a week, almost a week.
Yep.
And so we are going to try to record as much of our reminiscences as we possibly can and somehow edit them into a show in chronological order. What's up, Fanable family? It's your Feast is Life crew in the hotel room after landing in London. And then we had us a little nap, and now we're getting ready to go to a nice restaurant where we will meet some people that we interact with online, IRL. So Dream, tell me about the flight.
So we had an overnight flight and we didn't get any sleep whatsoever. We decided to be in the very back row, so the 38th row on the plane, thinking that right behind us there were bathrooms. This was in fact not the truth. They were in the middle of the plane, so we still had to walk halfway down the plane to get there. So the map lied to us.
Yeah, I there was a bathroom back there, but it was staff only, and they were very quick to point out that we were not allowed to poop and pee in there with our filthy coach class bodies. So yeah, we had to walk up and down. It was fine. Definitely didn't sleep, but that's okay. It was okay. We were seated next to a guy whose arms were quite impressive. He had some tattoos and some very fine assets. And so every time I would come back from my long journey to the bathroom, I would just keep my eyes on the prize, just aim for the large biceps. And it really lifted my spirits.
Large tattooed biceps.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was reading the whole flight.
Yes. A book with pages in it, guys.
A studious man.
Yes.
What more could we?
Yeah. And it was like a Neil Shusterman book. So that's the guy who wrote the Scythe novels and one of my favorite young adult series. Be that as it may, it was it was all a very good experience. Everyone around us was cool. We were probably being the annoying ones, to be honest. What movies did you watch on your flight?
I finally watched Red, White, and Royal Blue. So, of course, I went to the Pride channel of American Airlines offerings and found that and decided to watch it. I've been meaning to watch it for a long time. I have the book at home just sitting there collecting dust. It was a really good movie, and it had a lot of good scenes in it.
Yeah, she just like poked me every time something like spicy was coming on the screen, and I would stop watching Alien Covenant and just watch the spicy and then go back to my Xenomorphs ripping people to shreds movie, which really was it was a good movie. I mean, all those movies are the same, but so that I watched that and then watched Twisters. Disappointing, but that's okay. It got us through that long flight.
1 out of 2 ain't bad.
Yeah, no, there's definitely worse movies too. It kept me entertained. Little piece of Midwest as we leave Tornado Alley and enter. I don't know, what kind of weather do they have? Like severe weather? Do they have severe weather? Is it severe or is it just severely depressing?
Severely depressing. It just pisses down rain all the time.
I did not pack an umbrella. That might have been stupid.
I have one.
Okay, good.
It's a big one.
Okay,
so
cool.
I've got you.
An umbrella built for two.
When do I not have? One of us will have all the supplies that we'll need.
That's a good point.
So Dream only brought one. No, Dream didn't even bring a bra. She brought a silicone pasties. That's all I brought. So that's the only thing I forgot.
And I brought several extra bras. So we'll see if you need something down the road. We'll figure it out. So we were waiting to board in Chicago because we flew in from separate Midwestern towns and converged at O'Hare and then got on the same flight to London. And there was a guy leaning over to fix his carry-on, and he had that was the most plumber's crack I think I've ever seen. That was outside of a Casey's in rural America. This was a full-on, there was a lot going on there. And literally right next to him was this guy, these two guys who looked like, I don't know if they were bodybuilders or what. They had the bubbliest bubble butts. They were wearing short shorts.
So they were bears.
Yeah.
And they were in a relationship and they kissed each other. And they were pretty cute. They had nice bodies.
I didn't see all that.
Oh yeah.
Story. Nice.
Yeah. So basically I saw the one first.
Yeah.
And then I saw his boyfriend. They looked they were
they were a matching
build,
pair.
Yeah. The same build and everything. And they kissed. They were on different seats on the plane though.
Oh. Okay.
So they didn't sit together.
Mm.
The one guy sat next to us. He had the aisle or the window seat on the right of me.
Okay.
But then I saw he reunited with his boo thing.
Aww.
And they gave each other more kisses.
And these butts, I mean, they were bubbly. I mean, couldn't they have had the plumber's crack issue with their pants? But
so they had hoochie daddy fits on. They had tight shirts and tight shorts, short shorts.
Yeah.
So we got to see that.
It didn't clock to me as it wasn't like they were in roller derby outfits. You know what I mean? It was
right.
That's why I couldn't tell. I was are you guys really into athletics, or is this a fashion thing? But anyway, those were the butts that we encountered. Those were the notable butts, I should say, that and arms that we enjoyed. So now we're here. Took a little nap. Brain's not working great. That's to be expected. But
we're not firing on all cylinders, but we at least have enough juice to get us through.
Yes. And it seems like a lot of the Fanables are converging here. We ran into
Marissa.
We ran into Marissa on the Hotel Hoppa, and she clocked us right away. She's like, "Are you guys here for the convention?" We're like, "Yeah." We did have all of our keychains out.
Yeah.
We were signaling like birds in mating season that we were just making sure everyone was aware. The room's great. We got a little upgrade, I think. Possibly. I thought we were going to have 2 twin beds like this was a 1950s sitcom.
We would have pushed them together.
Yeah, we would have.
So,
but the king size is great. It's perfect.
And it's comfortable.
Yeah.
And the shower has the most wonderful water pressure in the world.
Yes.
And it has an adapting, like you can have a shower. First of all, it's tall enough that I don't have to lean backward. So that's a big deal. Because shower heads, and typically I have a problem because I'm too tall for them. And then also converts into like the handheld thing. So you can get your crack. You got to get the crack.
So we'll see yet again today if DB is the tallest fanable among us.
That's right. And I don't hesitate to step over chairs if I want something. So just, be aware. You were warned.
So what are we looking forward to the most with the next 3 days ahead of us?
I have no frame of reference, so I don't really even know what to expect. I think it will be a monumental moment to see a giant hall full of only fanables. Not like a mixture of like Star Wars bros and, people who are into Rick and Morty, and then some fanables here and there that are like frantically waving at each other from across this giant hall, but like just a sea of raven stag horns and flower crowns. And so I'm really excited to see that. I'm really excited to see people's cosplay. I hope that we learn something new about the show somehow from one of our guests. I think that would be nice, just a new, different perspective. Because I feel like a lot of the times the same kind of questions get asked, and we don't always, it's been 10 years or more for some people's memories that don't live and breathe the show, Mads and Hugh. And they're just like, I don't know, we did some stuff one time we were covered in blood and there was bees on us. Like they tell that story all the time. So, it'd be interesting to hear what other stories there are from some of these other guests that you don't really hear from as often. So, how about you? What are you looking forward to?
Hugh Dancy.
What are we going to do? We're going to be so weird.
We are doing a joint photo op because we're too scared shitless to do it by ourselves individually. Yes. So it's going to be DB Dream and Hugh Dancy.
And we're going to smell him. 100%.
I bet he wears like some really expensive cologne.
I bet. I mean, why wouldn't you? Or maybe not. I don't know. Some people are sensitive to fragrance.
Okay, we're recording.
That mellow sigh you just heard was the sound of very tired Fanable after 3 crazy days at Red Dragon Con 7.
We made it!
We did.
Round of applause for 2 old ladies.
Woo! And I mean, it's only 9:00 on Sunday night, and there is a disco party going on downstairs. But you have to be proud of us. We discoed a little bit 2 nights in a row, and we stayed up really late for us, like 1 a.m., 1:30 in the morning, several nights as well. So, but I feel like we kept up with the youngins.
Yeah, that's how invigorated we were.
We were totally invigorated. And also, it's possible that we were able to stay up later because our bodies were fighting through jet lag, and we just got really awake at night because back home it was daytime. But you know what? If that's the hack, then I'll take it. So let's try backing up in our minds.
Okay, so let's go to Friday.
Friday we slept in, and then Friday morning was actually glorious. This is not Red Dragon Con related, but Dream and I actually just woke up and we just like laid on the king bed in our hotel room and just talked and drank coffee. And that was literally it.
It was great.
We just took our time.
No children bothering us saying, "Can I have strawberries? Can I have something to drink? I'm hungry. Can I watch TV?"
Yeah, it's funny you say strawberries because that is Wilmina's like number one thing.
That's why I said it. I already know she's a strawberry girl.
It was just like, it was slow and quiet, and it was so amazing. We went down for registration, and we met up with Felix and Mercedes and a bunch of other people, and we've run into several patrons here as well. We've run into Blamey and Winston's dad, and oh my God, Winston's dad has some stories to tell. And we'll get into that later, but exciting.
Tiger Prawn.
Oh yes.
Max
was here.
Max
of the many badges was here.
Yeah. I think Max is the first person to have given us a piece of swag.
Yes. Yeah, it was great. Oh my gosh. There's so much swag. There's so much swag. Everyone is so generous.
Yeah.
I just love this concept of everybody coming home with these like goodie bags and everything. And it's just like so incredible. And it was nice to have something to give. And yeah, I haven't even looked through it. I've just been kind of piling it on a shelf in the hotel room.
It's like we're squirrels with chestnuts.
I'm hoarding my nuts.
Hoarding all the stuff.
So many. Because it's going to be a very long winter. I'm not coming back to one of these for a long, long time. So,
right.
Yeah.
Maybe someday in the future.
Maybe. I'm definitely not closing the door on it.
But. Yeah. If they keep doing it for years and years. I mean, I can't believe they've already done. How many have they done?
Well, this was 7.
Yeah, this was 7. And they already have, by the way, everyone, they already have.
Sean wants you to know that Red Dragon Con 8 is happening and you can already buy tickets for it.
Yes. So. And he wants you to buy them ASAP because those gold tickets run out fast. That was a joke, by the way. That was sarcasm. Okay. We don't even know how to talk about Sean. We don't even know how to conceptualize him because he's.
Okay. Yeah, I will digress to talk about him a little bit. So immediately, okay, so when we check in, we get our badges, we buy our autograph tickets, and we get our gold wristbands and all this stuff, and we're like going through this whole process, and we get our programs for the con, which should have like the schedules and everything, and the insert, because they had like the outside, it was kind of like a playbill. It was like a nicely printed outside cover that was like a souvenir you could take. But the inside was the insert with the schedule because it wasn't finalized until literally the last fucking second. And it was actually subject to change the entire time. But the insert, Felix pointed this out to us. The insert inside says, "Welcome to Red Dragon Con 8. Like, bro is already anticipating making so much money and getting so excited to organize another con that he actually typed like next year's thing and printed it.
So to let everybody know, we actually time traveled.
Yes.
And we are currently at Red Dragon Con 8 and we have missed a lot of work.
We have. Yeah. I think my kids are like a whole year older now. Bummer.
We missed it.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was funny. But I think we just noticed all this what do we call this? This thing is so bootleg. Isn't that what you always say?
Yes, it's bootleg. It is 100% certified bootleg. But it's kind of like one of those things, like fake money. It's like something that you think is real and looks glossy and shiny. Mm-hmm. But when you dig at all, like if you put the coin in your mouth and bite down on it, you're going to realize
it's just chocolate.
Yeah, it's not real. So there's like a really glossy image. Mm-hmm. But if you look any further than the outside of the book, you're in for it.
The organization was pretty poor, but we're also not complainers. But this, I don't know. There's a lot of smoke about Sean, and I think I don't know if it's the personality or what. I think he is very, very good at what he does when it comes to like pleasing the guests and like making sure that they're coming back, taking good care of the celebrities. I think that attention comes at the expense of the attendees, who are basically his like personal like money cows that he likes to milk.
So Sean is not only a used car salesman,
he's also a money cow milker, dairy farmer.
He's also a dairy farmer.
Well, it's like you only care about your livestock to the degree in which they're useful to you.
What if Sean listens to this one day?
Oh,
and it's like, they are banned. They are banned.
I don't know if he's that petty, but I mean,
he wants that money.
He really wants that money. We have been struggling to try to fully describe what he's like. We've thought Carnival Barker is kind of one of those things, because he's like a hype guy, right? We've gone with used car salesman just for that like kind of grease ball thing he's got going on. I've decided that he is a twerp. That's the word that I can just looking at him, and that he has a punchable face. So that's really how I would describe it. So what did you were What did you keep noticing about like his shoulders and?
So for those of you that weren't there, I want to give you kind of an idea of what happened at the panels. So when the panels were meant to be wrapping up, so after like the very last question is about to be answered, the person comes up to the mic, asks the question. When it's almost time for that to be done and the next panel to start, Sean creeps up in front of the stage, and you know that means it's time to be done, right? Okay, so he creeps up there, and he literally looks like the Grim Reaper standing there. And he's wearing these shoulder pads. He looks like a cartoon villain.
He does.
And
He really
the
does.
facial expressions that he had were very disturbing. He looked angry and smarmy.
That's what I meant about the punchable face.
Yes, very smarmy,
Yeah.
but also angry and irritated. I don't know if he saw dollars, like dollars coming out of his pocket, like the more time.
Like letting Jeremy Davies continue to talk and talk and talk. He's like, time is money, Jeremy. Time is money.
Oh my God, it's so true though. That's what he looked like.
I know.
But he also looked like maybe he just needed to take a shit.
I mean, that's
Like
totally
he also
possible.
looked constipated.
He might have been wanting to go outside for a cigarette because that's honestly where I saw him most often was just out smoking. And I get that, you know. So you got to have a little nick fit. You want people to wrap it up so you can go smoke in between. I don't know.
And then he said, Hugh.
He's like,
Daddy.
he'd be like, Lara Jean, whatever. I still can't say her fucking last name. He'd be like,
Korostecki.
Lara Jean Korostecki and Hugh Dancy, which to me was just giving like, let's get ready to rumble. Dun, 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 dun. Or Jock Jams
comes on.
or Leroy Jenkins. It was, wow, he is such a character.
The reason why we have so much to say about him, I think, the reason I have so much to say about him is everybody last year that went, because we watched everything on Twitter.
Yeah.
Like all the photo ops and everything coming up and everybody making comments about him and complaining about him and the way it was run. I thought, oh, you guys are just complainers.
Right.
Like there's no way it can be this bad. There's no way, his personality could be that off.
Yeah. Because to be fair, a lot of people in the group chat were complaining a lot this year about things that were really not worth complaining about. But whatever, I digress. But no, you were right. You were 100% right, all of you. You can say na 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 na, ha 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 ha.
Yeah, so we were proved,
all things can be confirmed. I believe it. I believe anything at this point about this man.
It's confirmed. Everything's confirmed. I mean, okay, I appreciate what he does to an extent.
Yeah.
But as a person, I'm concerned.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it's fine. But anyway, it's kind of great though that we can all kind of agree to just like dogpile on him. So I'm not usually a dogpiler, but man, I was just like, anyway. All right. So Sean occurred in our lives. Well, we had the opening ceremony.
We did not think that he would be there.
No, we didn't.
Because Maz wasn't there last year.
Uh-huh.
So we didn't think that he was going to be there. He showed up and our souls left our body.
They did. We were going apeshit. It was amazing.
I was speechless. I was literally speechless when he came out on stage.
I was like, no way. Well, we saw a little commotion over by the side of the stage. Everyone's like, don't expect you to be there. He's not going to be there. And we saw some little bit of commotion. Like people on the side were looking around the back of the like partition for the stage, like, oh, and getting really hyped. And like, there was like this, like, I was like, what's going on? And we were like, oh my God. And then, yeah.
And I was sitting next to Mercedes, and Mercedes turned and looked at me, and she's like, he has to be back there. He has to be back there. And like my body is just vibrating and not believing it. And then he comes out. It's like a ray of sunshine. Oh my
God. He was looking so good. So we have been talking nonstop about how good he looked at this con, because the very first time we saw him in person at C2E2, So we have a running theory that because C2E2 really kicked off the whole Hanagram World Tour that seems to be occurring right now, right? With appearances together in Chicago and Fan Expo Dallas, and then in Boston, and then in New York, and in Japan, and then now here. But the very first one was in Chicago, and I think it's kind of a like we haven't hung out together in forever thing. I think that Mass and Hugh just got fucking blasted the night before, and they were hung over as fuck the next day, just like trying not to shit their pants on, in front of the audience. And that's why they were both dressed like the king of the homeless camp. Not Hugh as much, but they were looking, it was rough. There was not a lot of glowiness. We complained about the slouchy grandpa socks. Having Hugh look so resplendent, and had a beard, and his hair was it was going great.
Oh Lordy. This is where it gets really exciting.
This is a crazy story.
This is where it gets really exciting.
I forgot we got to do, it's like, oh, fan meet and greet. That's included in the gold, whatever. And because there was never a schedule shared, I had no idea what was going to happen at this convention at all. Like, obviously we've both never been here before. And I was like, oh, not only are we having this fan meet, but Hugh is going to be there, and we didn't think he was going to be there. I just totally forgot that we were going to get to sit at little round tables with all of these guests and ask them questions. And so you didn't remember either.
Nope.
Just forgot.
Nope.
We ran up to the room to like powder our noses, air out our titties, and I was panicking. I grabbed a notebook and I just started trying to brainstorm questions and write things down for each of them. So I had to do some quick research on some people's careers to ask them questions also about like different things in their lives that are going on that is not just Hannibal related questions.
We get to the fan meet. We're sitting there. We're on all these little tables. Okay, so there's 8 total people. We're all sitting there just kind of waiting around, waiting for like the guests to come in. And Marissa decided to bring some alcohol, some blackberry wine that's local to where she lives, and also some Guatemalan rum.
Yeah.
Which was very delicious.
We were just sitting there and she opens
taking
up her
shots.
Bag. Yeah. She opens her bag up and just like pulls out these bottles of alcohol and just like bumps them on the table and it's like, who's doing shots?
Yeah. And then we were partaking. So everything happened really suddenly.
Yeah.
That's what threw me completely off balance, is I'm literally looking behind me. I'm not paying any attention to what's going on. Nobody was really focused on anything. And I fucking turn around and Hugh Dancy is fucking sitting there across from me.
Yeah. I was looking into my purse, like digging around for something. And I look up from my purse and I was directly across from him at this table. Like, and it was like, he just appeared. It was crazy.
He's magical. He appeared out of thin air.
I know. And yeah. So that was a lot. I mean, it was, oh my God. He was so fucking handsome. He was so gorgeous, you guys.
Oh,
I was like, oh my God. So my soul left my body and went up into a nebula in the clouds of space and the cosmic ether. But it did come back down and we were able to speak. So that was good.
Just you.
Just me.
Just you, basically.
I had my question written down, luckily.
Yes. So DB prepared really well and had a really great question for Hugh. You want to give a little bit about what that question was?
Yeah. I asked him about what the lasting impact was of his brother-in-law's investigation into their family history for the podcast, A Ghost Story, and, how things in the dynamic may have changed, or what was sort of the outcome of all of that. As if you've not listened to it, basically Hugh's sister, Claire. Yes, he has a sister named Claire and a wife named Claire, but that's not super weird, I guess. Claire Dancy married this guy named Tristan Redmond, and Tristan made a podcast investigating Hugh and Claire's great-great-grandfather, and who may have shot and killed his great-great-grandmother, and basically uncovered a lot of like some kind of fucked up shit about this patriarch that they had all revered. Whether or not he was a murderer or not, he was definitely a liar. And so I was just curious, like, you know, what does that mean now? How does that inform or change anything about your understanding of family and such? And I know I worded it better than that, but the point is, he kind of talked about how it was much harder for the older generation of Dancys to accept, like his dad and grandfather were not really wanting to know anything bad about what had happened all those years ago, but that he was more open to investigating and searching into these things, and that it should be looked into, and that people deserve to know in the family. I was like, so Christmas was Christmas awkward or something like that? Because, you know, you have your brother-in-law like investigating your family and whether or not somebody that a family hero was a murderer could get kind of weird around the holidays. He's like, no, Christmas, it was totally normal. I was like, okay, good, that's nice. So
DB saved the day at our table because we had a lot of nervous Nellies, including me. I don't think I said a word other than to say thank you when he got up. But this is the problem with him having been there that day, is I had a scandalous top on. My boobs were hanging out. I didn't have a bra on. And I'm sitting across from Hugh Dancy with my tits out, trying to hide them.
Yeah.
And I took 2 shots of rum back to back in front of him. So I don't know. I mean, who knows what he thought about that?
He brought a little bit of Ohio, right?
A little bit of Ohio into his life.
So. I was wearing a crop top, which I've never done.
Yeah.
So that was kind of a big deal for me too, but I was a little more modestly covered.
Yeah. We looked cute. We looked cute though.
We did look cute.
The fits were fitting. We will definitely share some photos with the patrons.
Yeah.
Our fits.
Or with my head cut off, because I don't want to know what I look like.
With DB's head cut off.
Yes.
Because her identity is a well-protected national secret.
We started with him. So it was like a round robin thing. So like you were like, one celebrity would go and then they'd like it was like a speed dating. Like the timer would go up and then you'd go on to the next one and go on to the next one. And I was like thinking to myself, well, we'll get like one of the others first and that'll give us like a warm up, you know, but no, we literally just, what we did was
trial by fire.
We ran a marathon without ever training and without even doing any warm ups or stretches. And we made it. We did. I mean, I thought it went okay.
Everyone survived. Hugh did not look annoyed or offended.
He told me it was a good question.
He told DB it was a good question, which it was. And I couldn't do anything other than look at his visage.
Yeah.
Which was, he's obviously been on holiday. Yeah. He's super tanned. His face is just like radiant. His skin is glowing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And here's the other thing that I fully believe that the water in the UK and in France is different than the water in America, not just for drinking, but for showering. Like I have had, and this has happened to me every time I've traveled to Europe. I have better hair days overseas than I have ever had in the United States. I don't know what it is. Like I'm using the same shampoo. I'm doing all the same things, but I don't know if it's like, it's not softened, but it isn't hard water either. So I really can't explain it. But I think having showered in that water, I think his hair and beard were even that much better.
Luscious,
fluffy.
Yeah, just he looked comfy too.
Yeah.
He kind of looked like a teddy bear.
Yeah.
Like what he was wearing was like super comfortable and like soft and just homey.
Yeah. Yeah.
He just looked like someone you want to hug.
But not frumpy.
Yeah, not frumpy. Kind of like a regular guy, but a regular guy with taste.
Yeah.
That actually like curated his outfit somewhat.
Yes.
That's sort of what it was. But oh my God. And when he like laughed, when he smiled and laughed and like, dude, like when he really is laughing, it's just beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. It's arrestingly beautiful. Like, Like, we all know this, but it's another thing to see it in person.
Right. Like, we've looked, how many numerous pictures, like, have we as Fanables looked at of him, modeling pictures, like pictures from his whole career when he was young all the way up until now. But seeing these pictures and saying, oh, he's so beautiful. But seeing him in person is just, he's arrestingly beautiful.
Because it's, the life is breathed into it in a whole nother way. So one of my, I guess I'll call him an uncle. He's not technically related to me, but if you know, like family friends that are more like family. He worked in the music industry and did a lot of traveling around and sold antique books and stuff, his Uncle Ed. So Uncle Ed told me that he once met Dolly Parton, and this was in the 80s. And he told me up close, you know, underneath all of the glitzy glamour, that she was literally the most beautiful woman he had ever seen. And I think I never really understood that story until now, that like, I'm like, well, okay. I mean, yeah, Dolly Parton is beautiful, always has been, always will. But I didn't understand the whole like in-person thing, or like the idea that you kind of seeing behind the veil a little bit more.
And I think it's also like his movement, like his movements and like the structure, like, you know, the structure of like his mouth when he speaks and his facial expressions and his eyes, which are like super bright and just
so bright,
glowing and just kind of large, like doe-like even.
Yeah.
But he's got blue eyes, of course.
Well, it's like a sea creature almost.
Yeah.
I mean, it's giving merfolk to me.
Something from the deep.
Yeah. Like something not like something
not of this world.
Yeah. Otherworldly.
Otherworldly is a perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just, as somebody who loved, like, as two people who love beautiful men, he is probably the most beautiful man I've ever seen in person.
He's literally the prettiest.
Literally. the prettiest anyone.
It's well deserved.
He's humble with that. Like, you can know one thing about yourself, but yet still, like, be humble and be kind of a little bit embarrassed and rosy-cheeked when somebody points something out to you.
Yeah.
Which is really cute that to this day, at the age that he's at, he's still like that. When people like,
not that we're like, oh my God, you're so fucking hot. Like, you're so beautiful.
I wanted to say that. That was what was going through my mind, that, well, you're so beautiful.
I described how, because everyone's like, why were you able to even speak? Like, no one ever, there's one girl next to Dream who was just crying the whole
she
poor
dear
thing. I know. I was like, oh, I don't want you to have a bad time. But it was very overwhelming. My brain, instead of getting into overwhelmed mode, I went into job interview mode, because I've had a few job interviews where I wanted that job so badly. And you have to just be able to answer questions, and then ask questions, answer questions, and listen actively, while inside your brain is going, and like, just how do I drown that noise out? Fight or flight, like adrenal responses in control. Figured out how to do it pretty much through job interviews. And so I had my hands clasped over my notebook, and I was like doing my active listening, head nodding stuff. It felt like
DB interviewed Hugh Dancy.
I felt like it was a job interview. I really did. It was so funny.
She wants to be his boss.
Oh, yes, I do.
No lies detected on that one. But honestly, like, sitting there next to her and seeing her come into her own and really take over the table and like allow us to enjoy him speaking on something and not having to worry about like just filling the air with bullshit, which is what it would have been if any of us who were really nervous tried to speak. So it was just really special that I was sitting next to someone that was so capable. So,
but I didn't ask all the questions. We did have a young man with us who was like bearing a very striking resemblance to like a young, boyishly handsome Kiefer Sutherland, and he complimented Hugh's beard, and Hugh complimented his beard. So,
and this young gentleman was very, very flattered.
Yes.
And by this,
but it was a well-earned compliment. Like, it is a nice beard. So if you're listening, that was right on point.
He literally gave me butterflies, butterflies. And that hasn't happened in quite some time. Sorry, Ian.
I'm also sorry, Ian. Maybe I'm just like very reactive, but I get butterflies in my stomach all the time. Nothing like that. Those weren't butterflies. They were fucking like bald eagles and shit. Like with like a firework in each talon for the 4th of July. Just America, just tearing ass around my stomach. That was that experience. Yeah, it was insane. So then did we have Laura Jean right after that?
Pretty sure.
Yes.
She was great. Beautiful. Petite.
Yes. And really just like bright and positive and funny and warm and witty. And yeah, she was
engaging.
Actually, very curious and like wanted to know about us too.
Just a good conversationalist.
Absolutely. And not intimidating at all. Just like
she put us at ease completely.
She did. And I did ask, how did she think that Freddie Lowndes really felt about Abigail Hobbs? At times she seemed like greedy to own her story. Then she was protective of her and then suspicious. Maybe she was a killer. So what was like the overall vibe of like, where do we land on that? And she mentioned that the reason that Freddie is like how she is because, and this is so funny because this is really similar to how I'm imagining her in my interview with the Vampire AU, which is where Freddie Lowndes is playing Daniel Malloy, basically. Because it's the same timeline of thinking about her in the 70s. As a reporter, I was like, well, obviously that would be really difficult as a woman. So in my storyline, she's like, because she couldn't get respect, she's like, well, if you're calling me like a terrible journalist just because I'm a woman, if you want me to be low class and not able to do this job, I will show, if you want a monster, I'll give you a monster. Do you know what I'm saying? And that was really very similar to how she described Freddie's motivations, even in canon, that she couldn't, being in a man's world and like never being given respect and credibility. She was like, okay, if that's how we're going to play it, then I will be the biggest pain in your ass that you have ever even imagined. And if you think that I'm a yellow journalist writing for cheap tabloids, I'm going to make the most explosively incendiary articles that I possibly can to cause the most trouble. And I'm not going to play by anybody's rules, and I'm going to just do my own thing. And then she was talking about how Freddie's connection to Abigail was really the one genuine connection that she had, because I think she saw a lot of herself in Abigail, and that, neither of them are, squeaky clean and innocent, but I think she really did believe that Abigail, even if she had helped her father, deserved to own her own narrative and not be told what she is and who she is. So that actually was a question that I'd wanted to know the answer to for a long time. That was really cool.
And I think it was really insightful and really accurate.
Yeah.
I think that she had a really good, like, accurate to the fans even. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't something out of left field that somebody would say, oh, yeah, that's, that's not something that we think is credible. Yeah. Like, based on how we see the character. It, like, expands on what we already have started establishing about her.
I think because she actually rewatches the show sometimes, like, in preparation to come and talk to us, and gets back in that headspace versus, like...
Which is special.
Yeah. Versus, like, the C2E2 where they're like, I don't fucking remember.
I don't remember shit.
I don't remember shit.
That was 10 years ago.
That was 10 years ago, and a lot of drunken nights have happened between now and then. We had Ellen Muth, who played Georgia Madchen, and mostly we talked about her coffee roasting business that she has started since she's not currently acting. So that was just kind of a quick. I felt like that one was pretty fast.
Yeah, it was pretty fast, but she was a sweetheart.
Oh, absolutely.
And you could tell that she was nervous.
Yeah, I was kind of.
You could tell that it was kind of like more on an even playing field. Mm-hmm. Like, we were nervous and she was nervous.
Yes.
Which was a very interesting scenario.
Yeah. Like, maybe she hasn't really been out much lately, like amongst the public or something like that.
Right.
So
exactly.
And I fully believe that there are people who are wonderful performers and very, very good actors who, like, everyone just assumes that because you like to perform in front of an audience, that you are an extrovert and that you love attention. And it's like, no, some people are artists and this is their medium, but artists are very, like, shy and are not energized by spending time with people. So, and I think, honestly, I think that's Hugh's case as well, but I digress. We met Ricky Whittle of American Gods fame. Wow, did we meet Ricky Whittle?
Everybody met him.
Everybody met Ricky.
Got up close and personal with him. Many Fanables fell in love with him this weekend.
Yes.
I, for one, was charmed by him.
Yes.
Like him sitting down and just starting to speak, I was immediately taken in by him. He's gregarious. He's funny. He's super handsome.
He is super handsome.
Super hot. Just smiley. Just a really good personality and a really good sense of humor and super high energy.
Yes.
He's sort of like a golden retriever on steroids.
Oh, that's a really good description. Yes, he was a golden retriever.
Yes.
And in a big way. We were thinking he was a Leo, which actually I'm going to look his birthday up right now.
Yeah, we're going to see if I was correct in my prediction that he is a Leo. Dun, 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 dun.
He's 45 years old. Shut
the
up.
fucking front door.
He looks like he's 28. Like maybe
he
30.
Takes great care of himself.
Yeah, I mean he's bronzed, he's beautiful. He
works on his body. He
works
obviously goes to the gym.
Body, yada yada. 31st of December, a Capricorn? That's crazy.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So Ricky began the fan meet by giving everyone in the entire table circle a hug, which was great. I will say I did savor the feeling of his stubble against my cheek. It was nice. But yeah, he was very hands-on with people all weekend, which was really interesting.
It delighted many.
It did. He's got, who he reminds me of in a way? Channing Tatum.
Yes.
And like how I imagine he is in real life. Like the big golden retriever, but also kind of a fuckboy energy.
Oh yeah, there was major fuckboy vibes.
Yeah, big time. He was really good at making giving a lot of levity and kind of brightening up conversations that could get heavy at times. But yeah, so I was completely fine with it. I'm happy to now watch some more of his work. Some people thought it was too much. Some people were extremely, obviously charmed and enjoyed the kind of like extra like amped upness.
Yes. And like the extra personal attention.
Yeah.
Because I overheard a few people talking and then talked to a few people about like their photo ops with him and autographs. And he's hugging people. He's doing crazy poses.
Yeah.
Picking people up.
Oh my God.
And a lot of like his jokes were sexual in nature.
Mm-hmm.
And he got pretty raunchy on a few separate occasions, but it never really like crossed the line.
Right.
Especially for Fanables. It didn't cross the line at all for Fanables. But he was entertaining. He's an entertainer.
He was the extrovert's extrovert.
Yes.
So maybe that's the difference is that, he gets like pumped up and energized by being around a lot of people and interacting with a lot of people versus it draining energy like it clearly does for Hugh.
And I know some people were really upset about him being invited and being a guest. But at the same time, he was in a show that Brian created.
And with Damore.
With Damore.
Yeah.
So he already had an established relationship with somebody that worked on the Hannibal show. And on top of it, he has an insight into Brian because he was directed by Brian.
Exactly.
So I think he had every right to be here.
I agree.
And I think that a lot of the things that he said, about working with Brian were really insightful. And I think, we learned stuff as Fanables, even though he was never in the show.
Exactly. So to the
Mic
haters,
drop.
if your haters are going to hate, just take it on down the street. Leave it by the trash.
Yeah.
Don't let the door hit your ass on the way out.
Bye-bye.
Damore came. His was not quite as memorable. He is a really classy gentleman, really smart, overthinker.
Definitely an overthinker. He's in his head deep in his head. He's very philosophical.
Mm-hmm. He's a question clarifier, which I do identify with that for sure. Just like, what exactly are you asking? Like, wanting to know the parameters of something before you answer. I asked him about Franklin, of course, because, I'll be doing my cheese folk this weekend. He said that he was Franklin's friend in order to appear normal, like as a cover,
because I forget exactly what all we talked about in that regard, but which I could, yeah. Anyway, I feel like he was there for like no time at all.
Like his eyes are like mesmerizing to me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's just like how his face is set and how his eyes are set in his face. Like he's very like, like he could be very intimidating.
Oh yeah.
Like as Tobias, he was scary. But then like him laughing and like being jovial and things and speaking, it's kind of like a juxtaposition.
Yeah. Yeah. Like it could be one thing or the other. And so his range is really
right. Exactly.
Really great. And yeah, he could be totally intimidating. But yeah, he's also just very interesting looking. Like his face shape is super unique. Compelling to look at for sure. And I would also posit that I don't think he has aged a day in 10 years.
Not one day.
Not one day.
I think he actually may have
reverse aged.
Reverse aged.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Maybe he has his hands on an anti-aging serum.
Maybe. I mean,
knows?
Yeah, I wish. Yeah, it was nuts. So, and I'm actually even more excited now to watch American Gods, knowing that he was also in it. That's really exciting. I guess that just leaves Jeremy Davies, because I had a very, very intense reaction to this human being. Like it, even more than Hugh. Like Hugh was like, oh my God, Cloud9 beautiful. I'm like dying inside. But this was like, so Jeremy sits down and I felt like an atmospheric shift in the air around me. Okay. And he's one of those people that like speaks slowly and then brings you down to their level of speaking. Like everybody was like, energy. And then it just kind of came down to this very calm, resonant. It's kind of like, okay, so the people who live across the street from me have these wind chimes, and they're huge. Like they are like, probably as long as a baseball bat hanging from the tree. But when they don't, and they're also very heavy, so they don't chime very much. But if a certain gust of wind hits them just right and they collide, it's not like tinkle tinkle like those little wind chimes. If you've ever heard like a meditation bell, how it strikes and it's this like beautiful low note, and then it rings for like a long time after the hit. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. That was him. Okay. Like I'll insert a sound clip of what I'm talking about, of those chimes that you hit them, and then the tone just continues on. Jeremy shared right away during the opening ceremony that he had literally just come from Hawaii, where he had said goodbye to his best friend in the world. He had passed away in hospice. And his friend, whose name, interestingly, was Peter, and he shared this immediately, not, I guess, he's like, I didn't want to make it about me, but Bro was clearly like just going through it. Like this was the most important person to him, and got super raw with us. And so I think right away I was like, thank you for coming after all of that. Like it just being here, like we wouldn't have expected you to, still fulfill this commitment, even though you just gone through all of this. And, sorry, we're so sorry for your loss and all this stuff. So, and then he starts talking, and he's like, and then this to me was the most out of body, like otherworldly experience. Like it was like a barometric pressure shift. Yeah. I just was totally locked in with him. And it was really, really powerful. So I did get to ask him a question. I was really happy that I got to, and I asked him about what it was like filming the scene in Saving Private Ryan, where his character fails to save Mellish, who's the Jewish soldier who's being stabbed to death up the stairs of this tower or church or whatever. And he's his character is just like cowering in the stairwell because he can't bring himself to go up the stairs to save his comrade. And then the Nazi soldier exits after having killed the Jewish American and just looks at him. And even though he's armed, just like walks by him like, you're such a coward. You're not even going to shoot me, you know? And he doesn't. So I asked how he prepared for that role and especially that scene. And he told this great story about how Steven Spielberg, that wasn't in the script, like the third act of Saving Private Ryan wasn't even, Steven Spielberg just kind of followed what the actors were doing and like let their characters continue to tell these stories. Jeremy told us he hadn't had any time to prepare for that scene because again, it wasn't in the script. And he was just kind of like, they're like, okay, we're going to do this. And the first take, he was extremely nervous and he's like, it didn't go well. And Steven Spielberg walked up to him and instead of giving him like any constructive criticism, any notes, all he said to him was, Jeremy, I'm so grateful you're in my movie. And that was all. That was all he said. And then he did more takes and finished. And, you know, we have the movie that we have today. So I was really thrilled when Jeremy brought that up again later during his panel. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I was the only one who talked to him about Saving Private Ryan, but he basically retold that story. So nice boob. He retold that story in his panel. And I was very pleased that he remembered what we had talked about. That was Friday night. And then I think we had to go drink. We were already drunk.
Yeah, I had taken multiple. I think I probably had taken 3 or 4 shots, decent shots. Had also drunk at least 1 cup of blackberry wine, maybe. So I was really overwhelmed after the meet and greets, and I needed to pee so bad. I was going to literally piss myself. So I went to the bathroom and I checked if anybody was in there, and I was alone, and I literally just lost it. Just started sobbing, just overwhelming. I'm going to blame it on the jet lag and the fact that I'm in a new country and meeting so many new people, and the fact that I'm kind of shy and slow to warm up to people. But I think everything, like, it was just overwhelming and I needed like an outlet. So I started crying. It helped me. It helped me kind of get through. I noticed this weekend that a lot of people spent some time crying. It was just a super emotional weekend. It meant a lot to everyone. Like-minded people coming together and having discussions and meeting, you know, some people that they look up to. And yeah, I don't think there's nothing like it. There's nothing like this kind of intimate, like niche kind of con. Vivi agrees with me.
Yeah. So, Thursday, did we forget? When was Fanable dinner?
Thursday, we didn't talk about that yet.
Oh, okay. What is there to say? It was great. It was fun.
Yeah, we had a Fanable dinner. The food was great. It was really nice to have like kind of relaxed like introduction to some of like it kind of was like the who's who of fandom. Honestly, it was.
Yeah.
Like a lot of creators, like very well-known fanfic writers and very well-known fan artists were there.
We saw Suspended on Dust, and that was great.
Yeah, big thanks to Nick for handling the coordination of that dinner.
Mm-hmm.
It was really fun. And I found out I tried a new drink and I actually really like it. What was it called?
Aperol Spritz.
Yeah,
one of my favorites.
Spritz. I've never had it before. Yeah, that's definitely becoming one of my top faves. So there's that.
It was fun. Then on the way back, we found a bunch of like little shops, and we went and got food and drinks.
Got some snacks. The UK is awesome, or England is awesome, because they have a wide variety of orange and chocolate based snacks, and orange and chocolate are 2 of my favorite things. So I bought out the store with all that stuff.
Got some fridge beers. So then what happened after you cried? You came back. Yeah. Did we just go immediately drink more?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think we went and got a drink at the hotel bar. And then we went to the disco for a very little bit.
Yeah.
I don't even think we danced. Did we dance? No. I think we just listened to the music basically. And then we ended up coming up here and going night-night.
Yeah. But we stayed up late. I thought it was pretty late on Friday.
Was it? Or maybe that was when were we? I was really drunk last night, but I think I was really drunk on Friday night and really drunk last night.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I think we actually, when did we stay up talking drunkenly about stuff? I think it was last night.
That was last
when
night.
I was waxing poetic about all sorts of different stuff, but I wish I would have turned on the thing.
We should have turned on the recorder.
Because there was some interesting...
Oh, yeah. You had some really great monologues. I just don't remember what they were.
Yeah. We were too far gone. But, yeah. Well, the thing that I took most from this experience in general is just, like, it is a family.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. When they say Fandible family, that is what it is a family. It's a found family, but it's a family. And often found families are the most profound.
Profound.
And
also, like any family, there's going to sometimes be disagreements and stuff. But I'm hoping that, good families are able to, like, work through that. And there's chance for redemption and forgiveness, and some spats can be resolved. And I think I'm hoping that this coming together moment, like, really kind of smooths some things over maybe for some folks, or I don't know. I feel like meeting people or seeing them in the flesh just changes. It makes it hard to dehumanize them in the way that online spaces allow. And I think a good amount of proverbial grass touching, aka being in the same room with people, I think can heal that, or just round out people's perceptions of each other so that it's more filled out versus this sort of like two-dimensional vibe of who you think somebody is.
All right, everybody, that does it for part 1 of our Red Dragon Con 7 coverage, and part 2 will be coming your way shortly.